32.
30? I think it was 36. 32, only 32.
I met Joe Sinnott before. He said he worked on Spider-Man for 28 years.
Right.
But I'm 32.
So he's the new guy, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I'm Danny Fingeroth, by the way. I know you're all excited about that. I worked at Marvel for many years. Larry, you can thank or blame Larry for me being in the business because Larry's the guy who hired me.
That was quite a time.
That was that, and I learned an important lesson about job interviews is that when you go for a job interview in the comics business, make sure you have masking tape not just on one side of your glasses, but on both sides.
I don't remember.
I do, because I look back and I go, what was I thinking with that masking tape?
One of the advantages and one of the liabilities of being around for as long as I have is you forget so much. Danny probably knows more about me than I do about what I've done.
That's okay. You'll get the blackmail notes. Mail thing.
Well, no, I haven't done anything for a blackmail note.
That's what you think.
Unfortunately, I haven't.
You know that stuff you don't remember? Well, that. Larry, so tell us your secret origin. Where are you from and where did you grow up?
First 10 years, I sound like David Copperfield, somebody else. First 10 years I was in the Bronx. I grew up and had an older brother, Stan Lee, and I hardly had anything to do with him because I was at 5 or 6 playing with my friends. He was 9 years older, and so we didn't really associate. And as a kid, until I was 10, I remember Pearl Harbor and getting into the war, and then I remember Stan. and then I remember Stan.
Keep it clean,
What?
Keep it clean, there's kids in your hands.
I'll keep it clean. And then, I forget. I remember, well, he was working for Timely Comics, that was called. And he knew people like Ken Moore, who just passed away, and others. I didn't know any of these people. And I was just a little kid and I liked to draw. And Stan then went into the service during World War II. You asked me, was he drafted or did he volunteer? I honestly don't know. But I know he went in, and we moved when I was 10 and a half from the Bronx up to where you're living now. Washington Heights.
No stalking, please.
170th Street. And I remember in those days that were different from today. We played on the street because there was so many fewer people in the city. We used to play a ball. What I think of it now.
Stick ball?
No.
Off the wall?
You'd stand near the building, unless the person on the first floor was yelling. But you'd stand and you'd hit a rubber ball. It's called you'd be in a box. You know, the cement box on the street. So you'd hit it into the other person's box, and you had to hit it so he couldn't hit back.
And if you hit a car, would it be like a double or a triple, depending on the car?
No, you weren't. This was on the street, not the gutter.
What kind
Not
of
the
ball?
gutter. That was something else. We also played there. And in the Bronx, they called this game Captain. Captain. And when we moved to Manhattan, they played the same game, but they called it Slug for some reason. And yeah, this is a long time ago. And we didn't have, of course, television then, let alone the gadgets. I'm looking at here.
You're a radio fan at all? Were the shows you liked on the radio?
Yeah. Some of them I liked. I don't even remember which. I like the comedies. I can still remember the names of them. Fibber McGee and Molly and The Life of Riley. It's funny how I meet somebody 5 minutes ago and I forget their name in 5 minutes, you know, and faces, but I can go back. I guess it's a long-term memory, and I can remember what was the one. It was a program called Duffy's Tavern, and it began with Duffy's Tavern, Archie the manager speaking. Duffy ain't here. Oh, hello, Duffy. That's how it began. and then there was one with William Bendix, The Life of Riley, took McGee and Molly, and then there were the adventure one. It was In a Sanctum. That was a mystery story, and that always opened with a squeaky door. You heard a squeaky door open, In a Sanctum. The Shadow, and Orson Welles, I understand, was on The Shadow. I don't remember. And then came The Lone Ranger, I think was on. Hi-oh, Silver, it's a lone, you know, Superman also.
Oh, that's right.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. And you had to use your imagination for that. You didn't have anything to look at. You got the news from going to the movies. If you wanted to see a visual, you didn't, since there was no television. So once a week, they'd have RKO Cathay News or some other news, or the March of Time. They all had their themes. And anyway, Stan went into the service, and we were living out in Manhattan, and oh yeah, I'm an artist, or I was. I just retired.
You're still an artist.
Yeah, I guess so. So I'm right-handed, but I think Stan must have been left-handed.
I think he was.
And when I was a kid, and not knowing better, and nobody stopped me, and I wish they had, when I was learning to write, I watched him. And he was doing it with his left hand. So I did it also, learned with my left hand.
That's so weird because they used to make left-handed people be right-handed, but you did the other.
Well, I was at home. There was nobody at home making me do it.
I understand.
I've regretted it ever since. First of all, when you write with your right hand, the letters go this way, and it's a natural movement. If you write with your left hand, you have to have the same angle for the letters, but you got to go this way. So you're practically deforming yourself to do it.
So when you draw, which hand do you?
Wait. Then not only that, but you smear what you've just written. If you in those days they didn't have ballpoint pens which dry a little fast, fountain pens, and you'd smear the ink. I mean, it's a whole mess. When I got to drawing later on, well, I'll get into my drawing phase here. All right. To answer your question, I draw with my left hand.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And it's been a bother. I mean, I have to go like that, and because I go like that, I would also bend over like this. And after years of drawing like that, I'm somewhat crooked. And when I draw like that, what I would have to do, either I have to go from right to left, like a Talmudic scholar, or I go like this, but I have to put a piece of paper under my hand so I don't smear the pencils as I draw. Unless I were to draw this panel, you know, I mean, the story doesn't go that way.
But if I gave you a small bean and you threw it, which hand would you throw it?
Right.
Okay.
If I can still throw.
Well.
Right hand.